What's good, everybody? I'm BPC and welcome to Competitive Origins MMA. Now, the card for UFC 258 has just been announced, and it's going to be headlined by the welterweight champion of the world, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman, who will defend his belt against Gilbert Durinho Burns. Now, this fight is set to take place February 13th, 2021. Now, if you recall, these guys were set to do battle in 2020, but unfortunately, Burns tested positive for COVID-19 and had to be pulled out of the fight. Now, Usman was still willing to headline basically the first Fight Island card. He was not dropping out on it, and they had to find a dance partner with him. And who filled in but other than Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. Now, Gamebred came in on short notice and did his thing. He obviously showed that he was the superior striker, and Usman knew that in order to win this fight, he was going to have to change and adapt. And that's exactly what he did. He started to hold him, he started to grapple, he started to use foot stomps, not very entertaining for the viewing fans, but he did what he needed to do to secure a decision victory. Now, he was obviously happy with the result, and the UFC was definitely happy with the result. Why? Because the pay-per-view did 1.3 million buys, which at that time was the biggest pay-per-view of the year. Now, obviously, that's probably due to the fact that Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, who's an obvious fan favorite, showed up on late notice to do his thing, and it paid off big dividends for the UFC. Now, Gilbert Burns had a really good 2020 as well. See, he started it off against Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist Damian Maia, and he got him with a TKO victory. He then followed it up with a bout against the former welterweight champion of the world, Tyron Woodley, and he grinded it out and got a 5-round decision victory. Now, in that fight, Burns, was striking back and forth with Tyron and then caught him with a devastating shot, which basically put Tyron in preservation mode for the remainder of the fight. Now, Gilbert didn't stop there. See, he went on to Competitive Origins MMA and he hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be notified as soon as these videos go live. And don't forget to ground and pound the like button. Now, these two fighters actually used to train together, but as of this fight, to my knowledge, Usman has relocated camps. And Burns has stayed at the exact same camp, but that's possibly because, at the end of the day, he is a coach at that facility. Now, advantages. I'd probably have to say the wrestling advantage is going to go to Kamaru Usman. Why? Because he's a Division II champion, and the NCAA is, where the amateurs go to basically prove who is the best until you become a professional, right? And he did it. He's got a championship in Division II, and he's basically displayed his wrestling ability all through his MMA career. Now, jiu-jitsu. I'm going to have to give this to Burns. See, Burns is an international Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation champion. And therefore, I'm not going to say that that Usman is the better Jiu-Jitsu specialist. Burns obviously has won a championship, and he did it, in an organization that is up there when it comes to Jiu-Jitsu. Now, I think it's probably going to come down to striking to decide who is going to win this fight. And the better striker to me is Gilbert Burns. See, when Usman battled Tyron Woodley to win the welterweight championship, it wasn't necessarily due to his striking. It was more or less more grinding it out, more grappling, and then accompanying it with strikes to get the victory. When he was faced off against another elite wrestler by the name of Colby Covington, he didn't even utilize his wrestling and just relied on the striking. Probably because he realized that he was matched when it came to wrestling and he didn't want to utilize all that energy. Well, Kamaru got the victory. Yes, he got the victory due to strikes. And it was a devastating blow that he was able to land that had Colby drop down. Colby was obviously probably exhausted, but he took a lot of good punishing shots. And Usman basically showed that he was the more powerful puncher in that fight, which obviously led to the stoppage victory. Now, Gilbert went up against Tyron Woodley as well, and that was a good fight until it wasn't. Now, I say that because Tyron was actually willing to bang with Gilbert, but then he got banged on, all right? And when he did that, Tyron dropped to the floor, and like I said, he went into preservation mode and wasn't really to recover. Gilbert kind of grinded it out on the ground and basically showed that at this current point, he is the superior fighter between the two. Now, Gilbert also had a TKO against Damian Maia. Now, Maia isn't really known for his hand skills. Like I said, he's more of a jiu-jitsu specialist, and Burns is a jiu-jitsu specialist. So therefore, Burns realized that the best way for him to secure a victory was to utilize his hands, and that's what he did. Now, go into the comment section below and let me know how you think these two fighters match up. Let me know what you think their strengths are, and who do you think is actually going to win the fight. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I appreciate the love. And don't forget to go to competitiveorigins.com. Type in promo code MMA39. Now, you'll get 10% off this Competitive Origins Just an Obstacle t-shirt. Thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, you've been competing since conception, whether you're competing against yourself or others. Competitive Origins. Have a great day, guys.